But let's move into our next topic, boys, because guess what? It's more Chicago Bulls, and it's literally the same conversation, slight twist, because Sean talked about one of the things that, why wouldn't someone want to come to Chicago? I asked this question to Ricky and Sean, and the answer is the front office and the GM control.
Chicago Bulls. It's the second reference to that on this podcast.
And I love it, by the way.
Doom, doom, boom, boom, boom.
I can't over here.
And Sam Presti is a name that has gained favor across Chicagoland area because not only is this man a proven fucking rebuilder, drafter, he understands talent from a base perspective, but he also works well with trades, which is something that is very hard to do at the NBA level, and he done swindled us before.
Campaign. Get on that campaign.
Apparently we had to pay a second to get a campaign. After giving up two players better than him.
Levine.
Yep.
Taj Gibson.
There is another piece in that one. Can you think of it?
Oh, they got Anthony Morrow.
Yep.
No, there's one more went to the...
No, the Bulls got Anthony Morrow. The Bulls got Anthony Morrow, campaign, Joffrey
Levine. Joffrey Levine.
And then...
Adam Levine.
Taj Gibson.
Zach Levine.
Is a three-point shooter. Taj Gibson, a second.
Dougie McBuckets.
I think it was Dougie McBuckets.
It was Doug McDermott.
Yeah, I knew that one. I was waiting to see if you could get there, but...
I
anyway.
wasn't, so thank you.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I saw the show, you're like, 3-point shooters, something. I'm like, oh, he's got nothing. Point being, he done swindled us hard before. We done goofed. And let's be honest, all he's done in Oklahoma City is draft good talent.
Make moves.
And amass a selection of lottery picks that gives Danny Ainge just a solid hard-on.
What?
I'm just talking with her. Yeah, just leaving it. Point being, he's very good in the front office.
He's a smart guy, is what you're saying.
As someone to be a coveted front office person, I think he's basically the dream for the Chicago Bulls. We all want someone in our front office who can make trades, who can draft talent, who understands what this team needs to do to stockpile the right weapons, the right talent, and the right pieces to put out a good product on the court. He's exceeded all expectations for this Thunder team. I know that, Gen 1 Thunder had, honestly, 3 MVPs, which is just fucking ridiculous. And he wasn't there for all 3 of those picks, but, he built the right pieces around them. And that's why I want to know, do you think that Sam Presti, A, is attainable? And then B, could actually flip this team? Or would he flip this team? What would his first set of moves be if he got the position?
I'll let Ricky start.
The thing I just wanted really shortly, because I know Sean's more, I don't want to say against, but more of hey, it's not going to happen.
Yep.
This all came from Kaplan, where on ESPN
Dave
1000.
Kaplan.
Yeah, Dave Kaplan.
ESPN
where he said that's the guy they want.
Yep.
They are prepared to pay him whatever it takes.
Yep.
And for me, I am all board. For me, Presti, would I personally leave OKC?
Yep.
Maybe not. You've got a nice fan base there. You're building something. But hey, this right here, this talks.
Also,
money talks.
Legacy.
Whatever that price is, I'm fucking doing it. And Sam Presti, you want to build a champion in the house of Jordan?
That's what I'm saying.
Bring Chicago back up to relevance.
Make Chicago great again,
as it were. Hell yeah. Screw MAGA.
It hurts me.
We're doing Chaga.
Chaga, baby. No, not Chaga. That's Chicago. It's Machaga. Make Chicago great again.
Yeah, be McCag.
The
McCag.
Just like the McDonald's. You got Machaga. Machaga, baby. Make Chicago great again. Go ahead, Sean.
I'm going to answer the second part of the question.
Yeah.
Can Sam Presti come to Chicago and turn this franchise around? Sam Presti could go to, I think, Israel, take the worst team in the Israeli league, bring them over to the NBA, and in 10 years have them be a playoff team at the worst.
That's insane.
Sam Presti is, if not the best,
is he wicked
top
smart?
3
Yep.
GM in the league.
Yep.
And I don't think it's close. Who else would be above him?
I mean, you got to look at Daryl Morey.
I'd take Presti, even though he swindled him from Harden, but that was mainly... We know Presti didn't want to trade him.
No,
it
but
was all
the
ownership.
creativity of Daryl
Yeah.
Morey, I've got to give him credit for assembling a roster. And then Dan and Tony, equal credit for knowing how to use them. Jerry West. I know his official role.
Technically he's not GM.
His official role is not GM, but he,
Then would you do it with the?
I would say then
it's not the Loeb in fucking the Warriors GM. They're
Oh,
the last,
Bob Myers?
Okay, Bob Myers. Because I was thinking Loeb.
Somebody's
I think
getting
is the
credit
owner.
on the Warriors. And then the Clippers, obviously.
But Myers didn't draft Steph and Clay.
Nope.
Like he just
figured out how to get Andre Iguodala. He assembled the perfect six man and Chandra
he had Draymond recruit KD. I don't know. I think
you want to give credit to the good teams, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
I would say he's top 2 and being next to Jerry West, who might be the best basketball executive ever.
Danny Ainge
could be. No. Ainge is definitely not there with. He's had so much more money. He's had more opportunities and chances to do something better with that team. Presti's capitalized. Presti, Riley's up there.
Pat Riley, out of sheer hatred,
I would say
just
Riley West
stays competitive.
Riley West and Presti are top 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then Morey's 4. He's in an elite category.
And then I'm gonna put Griffin at 5 just because I love what he's been doing.
Griff?
Yeah, what he did with Cleveland, now what he's doing with the Pels? Hell yeah.
He walked into the Pels deal.
Yeah, he walked into the number 1 overall pick and being having to trade Anthony Davis. Like who could he did a good job, but also
if you fell on your face, yeah.
I agree. I don't know. But anyways,
Sam Presti.
Sam Presti is not going to happen.
What moves? I don't care if you think it's going to happen because I think it's going to happen.
Here's the thing: the rumor. I don't even know if I believe the rumor.
Okay.
And David Kaplan, from what I've heard, being in Chicago media, is nothing but a extremely nice guy.
Yep.
So I don't want to bash Kaplan on the person that he is.
So you think this is a little blowhard moment?
No.
He's reaching.
From what we know about David Kaplan, he is very connected to the Cubs. And he has the connection, obviously, to NBC Sports Chicago. The one link that could connect this and Kaplan actually having an insider here is the fact that he works for NBC Sports Chicago, and obviously they are proud to have all the Bulls, Blackhawks, and Sox games, and because the Cubs bit them in the ass. So he could have gotten a nugget somehow through that, but I have never seen Kaplan as a newsbreaker. I cannot tell you any story that he has broken, especially to the magnitude of this size. Sam Presti signing with the Bulls would be one of the biggest stories in the NBA. And I think that Kaplan likely does not have a source that is truly inside enough to have this knowledge that the Bulls are going after Sam Presti. And that's even without regard of, does Presti even want to come here? Would the Bulls actually pay him what he wants? Outside of that, I don't even know if this is a legit enough rumor, and I would like to hear it from everyone else. And when I first saw it being broken on other spots outside of NBC Sports Chicago, or this is actually just on NBA Sports, when people were actually reporting this, I think the Bleacher Report had something on it too. That's when I first started getting interested because I was like, oh, maybe someone else nationally heard this. They were then citing Kaplan. So the only person I have heard this and been able to corroborate this message is Kaplan.
Gotcha.
So I don't think that this is a true rumor.
This is just something we're trying to breathe into existence.
I don't know if Kaplan's trying to breathe it into existence. I just don't think he has a source that is trusted enough in the NBA world to actually have a pulse on what the Bulls are going to do and if Presti would actually come here. So I think Presti coming here is very, very slim.
See, but he didn't say, and the thing I just want to throw out there, he didn't say anything about the Presti coming here thing. That's a total side of it.
It was also
Presti could just say, "No, fuck your money. I'm good staying here."
There are guys that are more connected into the NBA, like a Woj, like a Shams. Shams is based out of Chicago. I think that he would have been able to at least, especially this tweet being that was March 3rd, and Cap broke it a long time ago. Daniel Greenberg, the guy that they're quoting, Greenberg just is pretty much a guy who takes in all this stuff. He's an aggregator and throws out stuff. He does a great job. He finds everything. So shout out to Greenberg.
But the quote that he has is just, that's the guy they want. They're prepared to pay him.
And I'm assuming Cap said that on Cap and Comp. anyways, I think that this news would have been backed up with somebody else within the NBA or within the Bulls beat, especially Cowley or Casey Johnson. I think they would have been able to be like, yes, I've heard stuff like that as well. We've heard no one else over the past 4 days come out and say anything about this being reality or truth. Honestly, I highly doubt it.
Could it happen? Yes. Would I be shocked if it did? A little bit.
Yes.
But it's my dream scenario. Like this is the guy who I think would be best equipped to help fix the Chicago Bulls. And it's not like we don't have anything to work with here. Like let's walk down the hypothetical lane here. If he comes to the Chicago Bulls and is given free reign to make changes to this team as he sees fit, like what kind of moves do you think you would see him making? Do you think that is anybody outside of Kobe White and Wendell safe? Do you think that the head coaching position, he'd be able to find someone and replace Boylen right away? Do you think he'd let that simmer?
Well, I do want to say one thing that's a negative, and I don't know if this truly factors in, but Sam Presti has awful coaching taste. Yeah. He's hired Billy Donovan and Scott Brooks.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a worry to you guys.
I mean,
it's definitely there.
I would think then if he came on, I would think he would go into the college game. Like, because that's where he went for Billy Donovan. Scotty Brooks, I don't think he was in the college game. I would then think we're getting like a Becky Hammon type, where it's like an assistant of a head coach, or we're getting a college head coach to come be our coach if Presti was the guy.
Scotty was an assistant with the Nuggets, Kings, and then with the Supersonics, and then when they moved to the Thunder. So he was mainly...
Yeah, so we're either getting an assistant coach that's making the jump up from a different team.
Former player, too.
And then, or we're going into the college ranks. And actually from the 5th, 2 days after that tweet, Casey Johnson did a mailbag where first question is Sam Presti a target to run the Bulls operations? And if not, why? Just the first paragraph, he says, as previously reported, Bulls president and COO Michael Reinsdorf is doing due diligence on multiple candidates and multiple options. He's seeking feedback from a wide variety of sources on a wide variety of candidates. Surely the Bulls are performing due diligence on big names like Presti and Raptors president Masai Ujiri. Talk around the league is that the Raptors wouldn't let Ujiri go, but that Presti is so close. But that Presti is so close with Thunder's owner Clay Bennett that Bennett would let his friend pursue other opportunities if Presti wanted.
To me, that sounds like Casey Johnson cannot fully say that they are doing that.
Can't say they're doing it, but I can't say that they wouldn't not look into
it. It just seems like it's too early to tell, and I think the Cap's running with a story that could possibly be true, and it also could not be possibly true. He's running it in March, so by May, people forget about this shit. So I don't think it's gonna.
You're wrong.
There's no danger for Kaplan to tweet this out because then he could always have the denial of Presti didn't want to come here.
Yep.
And that way he doesn't take a hit, and most people will forget about it when they start actually hiring people. So for Kaplan, it's a smart thing because your name gets thrown around right now as a Bulls insider, and you get put into all this stuff. So the whole thing that I just come back to is I don't think that Presti is gonna come here. And while he would be a very intriguing name, I don't think he is the guy. There are some things that could connect them to Toronto in ways. Bobby Webster is the guy that's currently under Ujiri. I wonder if you could poach him away from the Raptors. I think that would be a name that would make sense to them. There's currently the Jazz have their assistant general manager that I think would be interesting. Let me just get his name because I keep forget. Not Dennis Lindsay. It's a guy under Dennis Lindsay. 1 second. Oh, Justin Zanuck. Justin Zanuck from Chicago, a former agent as well. If they want to go down that route, he has to get in the game. So those are and then there's also a Celtics guy that I think is intriguing. That I have.
It starts with an F. Mark Fizar or something like that. I know his initials are MF. I think
that helps.
That MFer.
It's like Mark or
that
Mike.
MFer. Mark Zarin.
That's it.
Mike Zarin.
It's Z, not an F.
Mike Zarin is the guy that. So those were the names that I've seen floated around that I think are probably the most intriguing. Presti would be a great hire, but I don't think he's going to be a hire that's going to happen. So I think Webster, Zanuck, and Zarin are the guys that I would personally go after. That
sounds like an awful law firm.
Yeah, Webster, Zanuck, and Zarin.
Absolutely.
But all of them smart basketball guys. And you're going to the Jazz, the Celtics, and Raptors.
Three top teams. They've done a really solid job all around. So I agree that it's unlikely. Like I think as far as Masai Ujiri is a 0%. I think that going after his assistant would be interesting. I think that there's definitely like a hope that, hey, maybe this guy has gleaned some insight from Masai. He's learned a lot under him.
He is young, and he's like 31.
Yeah. I guess at the end of the day, I'd like to know, whatever guy comes in, do you have faith that they will be given free reign to make the change to the coach?
Well,
and then a little fantasy GMing here, a little fantasy front office, who would you move on from on this team? Who would you trade out?
I would trade Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, Chris Dunn's walking, Valentine's walking. Porter, you can't trade. Yeah, I traded LaVine and Markkanen.
Who? I guess what are you looking for?
I am
out of
looking
those?
for youth. I'm cleaning. Like I said, I'm cleaning house.
I mean, Lowry's pretty young, so Zach.
Yeah, but Markkanen's young, but Markkanen's already sick of Chicago. Markkanen's already sick of this front office, and also I don't like Markkanen as a player.
That's fair.
So I think you could sell somebody on his youth and get some pieces back, whether that be draft capital or if the Cavs were looking to get rid of Garland or Sexton or KPJ, something like that. I'm not saying those guys for sure, but if they were interested in flipping and getting more size, that could be something that could interest them. Move K-Love to the 5, Markkanen at the 4.
Oh, that sounds horrible. Mm-hmm. That's just cancer.
Again, that's why I wouldn't do it, but...
No.
Depends on what coach you get. That, to me, is the number one thing when I come through the door, if I'm the new GM, is what kind of coach am I getting? If I am getting a coach like... I would say if I'm getting a coach like Kenny Atkinson, or if I'm getting a coach that can elevate this team into a playoff team, then I'm not cleaning house. I mean, a big move is I might trade Lowry.
How is Thad Young not the first word of either of your mouth?
I mean, I think
he's irrelevant.
He's under contract, and he is awful on this team.
You could trade him.
And other teams actually value him.
Then trade his ass. I don't care.
He is the first name out the door.
I will get there. Yes, a Thad Young would automatically be out the door. But like I was saying, if I'm getting a coach that elevates this team into a playoff team, out of the names Sean mentioned, Lowry might be the biggest splash. I'm definitely not getting rid of Zach LaVine.
Zachy boy.
But if I get a coach, and I'll throw out Becky Hammon. If I get a Becky Hammon, who to me is not a coach that is going to elevate us into a playoff team, into a champion, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know what's after being a champion.
Dynasty.
A dynasty. But the fact is, then I might go down the route of, okay, Zach's timeline, the timeline doesn't fit Zach anymore. Let's move on from him. Let's move on from Lowry to try to get either young pieces to develop or draft capital. And that's the two routes I'm going. But it all hinges on what are you going to get with your head coach. Yeah, I know. I'm going to change the battery after I'm done talking. But to me, first step is what head coach are you going to get?
And since you're getting up, go do that, and I'll talk, and then I'm going to come back to you for that head coach. Because like you mentioned Atkinson and Hammond.
I don't know what you go.
Yeah, but I mean, like if you get Kenny Atkinson, like I'm happy with him being the head coach for Kobe, Zach, and Wendell. I think Lowry is more and more the odd man out. I think between his struggles, his role. But I also wonder, like, what could Kenny do with him? Mm-hmm. It kind of intrigues me. But I do think that I could easily see Lauri Markkanen going out the door this offseason if we get a new GM. And I kind of like the idea of draft capital. My concern would be like, for this year. And I'd be like, how about next year? How about the future? Because I don't think this is a team that, like you said, we can pivot. Basically, it's either can we go for, a playoff run because in theory, if we're healthy, we're a playoff team in the East, Or do we just be like, hey, we tried. The stars didn't line up for us this year.
Yeah.
Let's make the moves that need to happen now to set ourselves up for the most success going forward. And I think that's the way I would lean. I would lean towards Zach LaVine's going to get his. Kobe White I want to develop and work with. And Wendell, so much upside. Let's strip the rest of this team down. And I'm hoping that, hey, it's Kenny. Even if it is Kenny and we want to rebuild, that's perfect too. Because guess what? He's great at developing talent. He's great at finding the pieces who we need to put in place. Sam Presti can figure that out too. Like, let's just get a bunch of young athletic talent and figure out how to make them work. Take second chance, third chance on guys who have been looked over in the league. So I'm clean house and compete down the road.
Dave, I got 2 words for you.
Suck
Dave
it.
Fizdale.
Mark Jackson. No, I'm kidding. Mainly because Soapy said Ricky's favorite coach is available, and I'm assuming that's who it was mentioning. No, like the first guy I go after is like you, Kenny Atkinson. I think that I don't know if we become a championship
Sam
team.
Presti, Kenny Atkinson. How do you build this team as the fantasy GM?
Kobe White's our point. Like, no, scratch that. Because we're definitely then getting a point guard in the draft. Because I want to, if I'm getting Kenny, I'm pairing that point guard that he can start molding right away. Or maybe shop Lowry
Lowry
or
we're
Thad
GM.
Young.
Come on.
Like, in my mind, my first thing would be to draft a point guard.
Okay.
My second order of business would be either trading Lowry or Thad Young in the opposite order. Thad Young first, Lowry second, to try to get another first-round pick in this draft.
You'd probably have to give up Lowry to get a first.
You don't think Thad Young can get a late first?
27 to 30.
I don't care where it is. If I'm going late first, it's Thad.
You might have
if
to throw in a
early
second
first
from next year or some shit, but
He's gonna
a second, I don't give a shit. Seconds are collateral to me that I don't
cash considerations. Thanks.
To where I want that first round pick, and then there I can go somewhere different. If I trade Lowry and I get a little bit of a higher pick, then I can get maybe.
What value is out there right now? Do you think you can get a teen? Think he's a?
No, I'm
15?
thinking like late teen at the highest.
A guy who we took 7th overall. He's put up impressive shooting splits, but been crippled by injuries and a horrible coach. Think we get a? That seems like a bad move, but I don't know. That's my question.
We'd be getting players also. We'd have to get players also.
Yeah,
for
to match
contract.
contract. I get that.
But like,
okay.
My goal would be to get another
I'm just saying a guy
first.
who was drafted not lived out.
To then get someone else that I can then develop, and then
Malik Monk.
like,
oh my God, more shooting guards. We need more shooting guards.
And hire D'Antoni. Hire D'Antoni. Hire Presti. Trade for Malik Monk, and there you go. There's your 2 guards: Kobe White and Malik Monk.
We roll out a starting lineup of Zach LaVine, Kobe White, and Malik Monk with Lowry at the 4, and Lowry get traded for Malik probably.
Yeah.
And a pick, but Wendell Carter. That seems like a fucking disaster, but every other night, one of those guys can go off for like 40 points and we'll lose.
I'm fine with it. I think that those would be the. I would trade LaVine. I think he's.
He's not
cleaning up.
Bad,
I never said he was bad. I was just saying clean house, and like
too good.
LaVine doesn't seem like
enough.
the leader on this team, and he's making the most money.
$19.5 million for the next 2 years,
and,
2020, 2021.
Well, I guess technically Otto Porter is, but
Otto Porter's making a little bit more.
I think if you combine all the salaries, I think LaVine's making the most on the team.
Yes.
But I just don't think that him on this team will truly progress them to where they need to be. I don't think Markkanen being on this team will truly progress them to where they need to be. I think that if you clean house and you get a fresh slate, that's what you need to do. Like, maybe not tank it away, but you need to give Kobe White all the time in the world to develop. You need to give Wendell Carter all the time in the world to develop. And I think that this draft pick that you're going to get, wherever
7th
it is,
overall,
you need to give that person time to
Who would you draft at 7?
Killian Hayes.
Killian Hayes. He's your highest rated point guard outside of Lonzo Ball.
He's going to be available. LaMelo, not Lonzo.
Yeah, that one.
I have battled with it. The person that keeps talking me into LaMelo is you.
what if
I don't love him.
I just had like a mini
Killian Hayes has been like I battle with who is my number 1, and Killian Hayes it's Hayes or LaMelo.
Let me throw this out there, because
I think you actually dodge a bullet if you get Killian Hayes.
What if
controversy wise?
What if LaMelo and Hazer off the board? Because I know that whenever we talk draft, you don't like the tankathon model.
I would look for a wing.
Because they have LaMelo at 3 gone, Killian Hayes and the Knicks at 4 gone.
Yeah, I don't mind Halliburton then at 7. If you have to pick a point guard,
how is Halliburton not a perfect match?
Then Halliburton.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, but yeah, I would say
he doesn't have the same upside. Don't get me wrong, but like I think fit wise, he is someone who is unselfish and can knock down shots.
If we're doing our big board, like for them, LaMelo.
Yep.
LaMelo, Killian, Denny, Halliburton.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with
and
that.
then what your 5th would be?
I don't really care.
I would say like an Isaac Okoro at 5. If you're going 5th.
I don't. Those are the guys that I like. Bulls. We don't know where their record right now is so wishy-washy that I don't feel comfortable giving those players because I don't know who will be available. Yeah. But that's like if you get one of those 3 guys, I don't think you fucked up.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. Cool. I guess that sort of ends where we're talking this Bulls team. I think we're all in favor of. Sean says tear down completely, drop the expectations, get young, get fun, play basketball with a head coach who doesn't hate the modern era and can kind of run and gun. And I think that's the answer because when I look at the fun teams in the NBA, you look at the Charlotte Hornets, seriously, when you watch teams have fun who are younger, the Charlotte Hornets, the Memphis Grizzlies,
that's the team I think
are right up there, and they're 2 teams who obviously the Hornets moved on from Kemba Walker, the Grizzlies moved on from Mike Conley. Both of them have found a potential point guard.
So you
Both
would
of them
say
have
move on from Zach?
High draft picks. I don't know if we need to move on from Zach, but I think that the answer is it's more of a play style, it's a mentality. It's what they carry around the game and the potential of the young talent they've got around it. And it feels like as little as we've seen out of Lowry Markkanen, I do feel like we've seen enough to know what he is and what he's not, and I would be okay with moving on from him. So I'm still in rebuild mode. I think that we never got a fair chance at a rebuild. I think we tried to jump from Jimmy Butler.
The rebuild's been going on for years.
It was a retool. It was the Jimmy Butler trade, set us up with a couple of nice pieces, and I don't think we did enough to put the talent around them. And then we tried to jump the gun again by grabbing Sato and Thad Young, and be like, oh yeah, this team, we totally got the veteran leaders now. Let's make it happen. It's like, well, injuries made sure that didn't happen. I think you need to tear down. Yeah, that's my feeling is I want a GM who's going to make moves. I want to make trades. I want to build draft capital. And that's why, for me, I still love the idea of getting Sam Presti in here, give him the $10 million, whatever he wants, free run of the front office. Let him find a coach, whether it's Kenny, whether it's Becky, whether it is, Mike D'Antoni. I don't care. Just we need change, and we need it forced down our throats right now because continuing to do the same thing for the next 3 years that we've done the last 3 years will get us absolutely nowhere. And the worst thing in the NBA is to be stuck in the middle. If you're a truly bad team, you will get talent in the draft. You will have fun players to watch. You will have excitement. But being in the middle of the NBA is literally purgatory. It's the worst place to be. It's boring as shit. You're almost hopeless. Like you look at what Detroit's finally pulling the trigger on. They're like, look, we've got a couple of young pieces. Blake's hurt, but next year we can see how Blake's doing. Maybe shop him around. Maybe compete if our young talent translates. And like that's where we need to find ourselves at the point where we push ourselves out of the middle. That's my final answer for the Bulls is we need to get the fuck out of the middle. Make the moves.
And I think if you you need to make a very clear choice that you are going to do that. Yeah. And I think if you're not getting away of John Paxson, and you're not getting away from Jim Boylan, then you're not making that clear enough.
Yep.
You need to clean house, at least front office wise and coaching wise.
Yeah, it's a change of the guard, change of the era. Like the Pacers literally went from Paul George and playoffs to make a couple moves. Now we've got Victor Oladipo, Malcolm Brogdon, Domantas Sabonis, Miles Turner, TJ Warren. Like that's a team that literally went from very good to bad to back to good again in a matter of years.
Do you think that's why the Bulls are looking at Chad Buchanan?
Yeah, I think we have to be.
Buchanan's only been there for 2 years.
But like, I get. My point is like, you have to be able to make those adjustments because doing what we're doing is taking us on a track to nowhere. Mm-hmm. And other teams around the league have flipped over their roster, have done all that shit, and they're in much better position than we are.
100%. I agree.